Sup everyone, I am the Kaiju no Kami here at the Toku and Animation News Network, and I am reviewing, well, I'm still going to review video games. Today I'm taking a look at Like a Dragon Ishin, which is part of the Yakuza series. Back in 2021, I became obsessed with the Yakuza series and ended up playing through all 8 games on top of the 2 Judgment spin-off titles. There were several more games from the franchise I had not played for one reason or another, one being due to the games that never came out in the US. SEGA finally decided to rectify this matter with one of its games that took place in 1800s Japan just before the Meiji Restoration, called Ishin, by remaking it using the same engine that Yakuza 0 and the first Kiwami game utilized. The interesting thing about Ishin is that many of the characters are based on real living people in Japan, just portrayed by the Yakuza actors. It's an ingenious idea, but does it work? Yes! Yes it does. It's no different than watching a movie featuring actors from another franchise you know and love. All of our favorite voice actors are present, specifically Kiru, who portrays Ryoma Sakamoto pretending to be the Shinsengumi member Hajime Saito.
今の話、本当なのか？何ですか、お侍は？これがミブロ。新選組の仕業だってのか？
We've got Majima.
入隊試験で一目見た時から全部知っとった。はじめちゃんは覆面の男って今日まで来たんやろ。
Seijima.
それは要するに家柄のいい新選組や。新選組は浪人の寄せ集めやが、京都見回り組はれっきとした幕府の家臣で組織されとる。
Akiyama, Ryuga.
ただ俺も一応長州の代表みたいなことになってるからね。あんたを目の前にして刀を抜かないわけにはいかないんだ。悪いね。
いいで。わしも薩摩省とるんや。わしとあんたの喧嘩でこの件蹴りつけようやないか。
And so on as new characters.
これは幕府ご公儀の命令や。これ以上坂本龍馬の件、新選組の手出しは無用。
What's even more invigorating is how well done the story itself is. The plot twists keep you guessing what is going to happen next while trying to figure out who is actually who they claim to be. Combat is similar to Zero and Kiwami, for you are given 4 different fighting styles to choose from. Brawler, which is what you expect, hand-to-hand combat. Swordsman. A style where you fire off a gun, and a combination of sword gun called Dancer. At the start, I really dug the Dancer style, only to find myself preferring the individual gun and sword ones as things progressed due to how overpowered they became. There is nothing more fun than knocking a boss on the ground and then taking out half of his health bar by shooting him to death. Sometimes the gun felt too overpowered, although it does add in the thrill of creaming your enemies. Heat moves, on the other hand, are kind of lackluster. I can't say there were many I found to be all that special. I did like one that occurred if you have an orange in your inventory while using the brawler style. And there were a few solid ones with the sword style. Ultimately, they didn't leave the same impact they have with other games. It's a bit hard when there's no car door to slam into a dude's skull. Minigames are abundant from the typical gambling ones, singing,
ちずに愛してくだしゃんせ何人だ何十人だひけらかすやからばって窓のに抜かれて地獄に落ちるがいい男はもんしろちょうかうまく定めさそんなてめえ都合の言い訳は許せしねこちらの水が甘かろうがあちらの蜜がうまかろうが吸われても生まれて何をされても揺るがぬ純情を誘惑上とどんとこい俺は一途侍
A dancing one that becomes hard to manage the more advanced you get. What the hell? Chicken racing. Chopping wood. Strip rock, paper, scissors.
脱ぐか脱がせるか平等に公平に決めましょうかい天国地獄心の目で見るどっちじゃはいよっしゃ
あら恥ずかしい
And whatever the hell this is supposed to be.
アンナまだ酔ってるみたいもうちょっと解放してほしいな
よし気持ちいいなよし全開
こんなに高いの初めて触りましたこんなに太くて高いの信じられない力強すぎて体が壊れちゃいそうちょっと痛いけど
Obviously, there are no arcade games to be had. There are 72 sub-stories sprinkled throughout the game, and I've got to say that 2/3 of them were a complete bore. The vast majority of them introduce you to a new NPC that will then require you to build a friendship with them in order to access some sort of goods or service later on.
Oh my
毎度おおきにどうもおおきにいらっしゃいませ
It's extremely frustrating when these will be the vast majority of the sub-stories you will find in the early parts of the game. It isn't until you're halfway through that the good ones start to emerge, and even those are quite lackluster compared to the other games. We've got a series of missions where you must deliver packages quicker than the opposing side, which has little to no challenge. A short night story revolving around a ghost samurai. There is a really fun one where you have to act like a detective to determine who ate some official's food. One that sees Ryoma getting sprayed with a love potion. Ryoma meeting an American wanting to be a samurai who is totally not Tom Cruise.
Oi.
Giving a woman vegetables. A set that is reminiscent to the bounty hunter tales from Yakuza 3, where you work for a company that is trying to rehabilitate criminals. Speaking of friendships, you also have the ones that allow you to adopt a trio of cats and dogs for your farm, which you also kind of adopt. Ishin's version of Haruka is a girl whose parents were killed by bandits, leaving her with a lot of debt on their farm. Payment has come due and Haruka is unable to pay, so Ryoma does the only honorable thing: adopt the farm in Haruka and play Harvest Moon to pay off the debt.
豊作だ。大豊作だ。豊作だ。よし。よし。豊作だ。
What's funny is when I picked this game up at GameStop, the sales associate asked me if I wanted to pre-order the upcoming Story of Seasons game that was coming out, and I told her, no thanks, Harvest Moon isn't my thing. It's like RGG Studios said to me, oh, you don't like farming simulators? That's cute. You will. Thankfully, it's a basic system and doesn't really need to be bothered with unless you're a completionist. I will say though, growing ginseng is going to be your best moneymaker as you can make quite a bit of money to help you get through the game, so farming, for once, pun not intended, is going to be your best option for easy money. Well, there was a chicken race glitch that allowed you to make tons of money, but that option has been removed in a recent firmware update. It was fun while it lasted though. The soundtrack to Ishin remains as exquisite as its predecessors with some truly outstanding tracks.
したらやることは一つやな。
ああ、今度を探そう。
Boss fights are not as tough as in other games, though they leave a lasting impression, such as the one where Ryoma and Ryuga's counterpart fight in a bathhouse naked with only the steam keeping your eyes from burning. There is also a series of dungeon crawling missions where you run through a cave of sorts fighting enemies to gain materials needed to craft new weapons and armor. You also gain an army of supporters through a card system with a variety of effects. Except for the ones who heal your health, I found the cards to be quite useless outside of a couple scenarios. I don't hate them, as it was fun to summon a bear in the midst of battle to maul my opponent. However, I found them to be a distraction more often than not. In the end, Ishin is kind of the weakest Yakuza game I have played since 4, though that isn't saying much considering this franchise's quality. It is still a great game and a lot of fun even with its letdowns. If you are a Yakuza fan, Like a Dragon Ishin is truly a must play and a must buy. Until next time, bye.
脱がせるか平等に公平に決めましょうかい